Well, every year you hope you've got sort of, I think the last 2 years they've said, well, this is as strong as you've had, but I don't know whether this is. But I think it's got a good sort of spread about it. And the young horses look good, which is always important because they're the future. And if you're winning the novice hurdles or the novice chases, you've got the, that leads on into the next few years. So maybe they'll keep us going.
And talk about starting with all guns blazing. You've got Sprinter Sacre, Spirit Sun and Gib River all in the opening race, the Supreme Novices.
And 3 lovely horses. Effectively, Sprinter Sacre sadly got beaten the first time and he was sick after that. But he's come back well. In fact, that's the only time any of them have been beaten. So they all come in here with pretty nearly clean sheets. And 3, I hope, pretty good horses. I mean, they are, I think. It's difficult to. I don't luckily have to make a call. Barry's going to have to make one at some stage. I don't have to. I can fire as many at it as I like, and hope one of them is good enough.
Any idea who Barry's sort of leaning towards?
I don't. I know he loves Sprinter Sacre. Absolutely adores him. But I just think he's a horse that will probably another year will bring him into. I think when he's over fences next year, I'd be very disappointed if he doesn't. If we aren't talking about an Arkle horse this time next year, but he'll go there because he's got to go there. Spirit Sun is a different beast altogether. He hasn't got a lot of experience, but he's been terribly professional in all his races, and he knows what he's doing, and he's been very thorough and very professional, and axing any ground. But I didn't think he liked it. He was horrible at Exeter, but I thought he was very, very good that day.
And Gib Rivers sort of gone about things quietly.
He's been, again, very, very professional. Always been a good jumper, always enjoyed himself and done everything he's been asked to do. Probably just hasn't beaten anything. Maybe I haven't really been trying to protect him. He's just actually managed to dodge anybody. I don't think they've been dodging him particularly because he's looked good, but no, he's good.
Looking at the Arkle, Finian's Rainbow, done nothing wrong this season, but perhaps last time the least impressive of his
wins. Well, the least only because, as you probably saw, we were trying an experiment and we were trying to hold him up, which is not what he wants. It's not his natural way of racing. The only reason for doing it was because he'd been round twice, he hadn't seen another horse. And I thought, well, you might well see somebody else in the Arkle because somebody else might want to be stupid, in which case it'll just doing good to go and jump a few fences in behind. He didn't like it. Only because he just wasn't being allowed. It doesn't matter, as long as whatever's going there in front is going plenty quick enough, that's fine, that won't worry him. But it was just, Andrew had a horrible job. Because Barry actually wanted him to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. It was Barry saying, please, you try and drop him in so that you can just get him to try and learn to, so he does jump some fences in behind horses. I would actually say, go and let him run, but Barry was very keen that he just did get him to try and learn a little bit more.
And anything of the novice chasers we've seen this season, Medamit, Captain Chris, any of them sort of?
Yeah, they're all good, and I mean, they're going to be very competitive. Medamit, I know Kingy's very keen on him. I have a line through him with Mr. Gardner, was sort of thereabouts with him until who ran a very good race. He's a genuine 2.5 mile horse. I think Medamit's there. I think there's a Gizeo, Medamit, Finian's. I mean, Ireland will have their say, but I think we're, he's a really good sort of, he's going to be bold and he's going to be brave and he'll be attacking. I mean, if he can go there as he was last year, I think it's more open. I think it's better. There's more genuine contenders this year than there were last year. But if he's back at that, he's still the one they've got to go and dethrone.
And his run last time, I know he ran sort of poorly last year and then went and won the champion hurdle, but does that concern you at all, that the fact he ran?
Well, you'd say it wasn't ideal, but I mean, if Ruth and Raz was making the pace, the one thing, I think there are a few things on the day that we can just, tweak.
And you've got a couple of others in there, Oscar Whiskey and Zaina, would they both line up?
Oscar Whiskey, I think, will almost certainly go there, yes. Toyed with it because he was so good over 2.5. But Zaina, he couldn't win it. He was third in it last year, and I see no real reason why he should be any better in a better year. So the obvious thing would be actually to try him over 3.
So he could go for the world hurdle?
He could go world hurdle, I would think, yes. French Opera, what do you do with them? I mean, they've nowhere to go. you could say wait for entry, you'll probably bump into the same horses. Mad Max, we have actually tubed him, which is well, it's not revolution, it's something they used to do in the good old days. They've been doing it for centuries, which is actually bypassing the larynx and actually he therefore breathes through his throat. And that can, I think it's well documented that he has had breathing problems, and they interfere, they don't help him, and he's not getting enough oxygen. So if this works, which it will work, but whether he can, if it does, he's probably still a very good horse. French Opera, what do you do? He won the Game Spirit really well at Newbury. Can't run in a handicap, he can't run anywhere, he's got to run here. Masterminded and Big Zebs and Sizing Europes, they're all going to be hard to beat. But good old French Opera, he's a tough old nut when he's at the top of his game, and he is now.
And how important is it that Barry Geraghty's not going to be riding him if he goes to the championship?
Well, I think I'll let Barry ride Big Zeb, but in fairness, we've got to discuss all that yet. I suspect he'll want to, but in fairness, I'm not worried about French Opera. He's very rideable. Well, he got beaten the first time, giving £8, I think it was, to Paul's horse. But he's been good since then, and I think he's a justifiable favourite, if you like. Very professional, he jumps well, and he's got tactical speed, so race should suit him.
And how would he compare with the likes of sort of Solatino, Zanar?
I think good, yeah. No, I do. I think he's a really nice horse. And we'll probably have some others to join him. I think Amidia Lutz will anyway, in that I completely threw the Fred Winter out of the window by letting him win the Chatterist Fen by a distance. All I was trying to do was get him into the Fred Winter, but I started not getting in and went from the very bottom to way out, from out of the bottom to out the top. That was just the first time he bolted going down to the start. He bolted for a mile and a half, that was all over. In fairness, the next race, Andrew Tinkler did a very good job. In fairness, in behind Grand Duet. He had to just switch her off and go to sleep and bury her and bury her and bury her. And now she's good.
Just looking at the week as a whole, if I had to ask you for your best bet, which one would it be?
Oh, absolutely. If you ask me what I want, anything on the first day will do. The Supreme would be good, or the Champion would be... That's where you need one. If you can just get one on the board to start with, it would be... I think we do start with quite a strong first day with the novice hurdles and the champion hurdles and various things there, so it would just be nice to find one there.